Warning, this podcast contains sarcasm and realism. You've been warned. This is Girls Can Tell with your host, Trent Erickson.
Before we get into today's episode, I've got a listener question that sparked this whole conversation. I've actually gotten quite a few emails saying essentially the same thing. This particular one comes from Marcus in Seattle. I've been on Hinge for 8 months with barely any matches. I keep hearing about people deleting and restarting their profiles to get a newbie boost. Does that actually work, or is it BS? And what else can I do to get better results? Marcus, you're asking the question that almost everyone on these apps has wondered at some point. Is there a profile reset that actually works? Can you game the system and get back to that first week? And should you cast a wider net or stay selective? Questions like these hit a nerve because they're about the algorithm and they're about hope. When you've been on an app for months with nothing to show for it, the idea that there's a hidden hack you haven't figured out yet is comforting. The reset button feels like a second chance at the same story, in the same city, and with the same people, but maybe this time, they'll actually see you. This episode, we get into what really happens when you delete and restart your profile, why the newbie boost is real but not magic, how filters can help or hurt you, and what actually improves your results without getting shadow banned or wasting your time. Let's start with the thing everyone's heard about, the newbie boost. When you create a new profile on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, or pretty much any dating app, you do get an artificial boost. Research shows that new accounts are shown to more people and higher quality users for about 3 to 5 days. The algorithm is running an experiment trying to figure out where you fit in the ecosystem and where you land in the desirability rankings, basically where you sit in this little dating food chain. During that initial window, your profile gets prioritized. You're shown to active users, attractive users, and people who match your preferences more often. It's like the app is giving you a free sample to get you hooked. And it works. That first week feels great. Matches are rolling in, conversations are starting, and you think, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. You might even start thinking how you really underestimated your own charisma. Then the boost wears off. Suddenly, it's crickets. Your matches drop off, the quality of profiles you're being shown changes, and you wonder, what the hell happened? What happened is that the app tested you and the algorithm put you in your lane. After that initial test period, the app has figured out where you rank based on how people responded to you. From that point on, you're mostly shown to people whose swipe behavior looks similar to yours and whose desirability scores are around yours too. So the question is, can you reset and get that boost again? Technically, yes. So to truly reset your profile properly, you can't just delete the app and reinstall it. You need to follow several specific steps. You have to delete your account completely, delete the app itself, and wait at least 36 to 48 hours before reinstalling or coming back. If you really want to play it safe, wait 3 months, which is when apps like Tinder delete all your user data per their terms and conditions, with others keeping your data up to 2 years. To maximize the chance of being treated like a new user, you'll often need to use a new email or phone number because the apps track that information. If you follow all of those steps, you can theoretically get the newbie boost again, but it falls apart because the apps know about this trick. Thanks to AI, they're getting better at detecting people trying to game the system. Apps track device IP addresses, emails, phone numbers, and even the pictures you've used in the past. Studies show that if you delete and recreate your account too quickly, especially within minutes or hours, the algorithm can flag your profile and reduce your visibility instead of boosting it. It pushes you down instead of up. This is the path to a shadow ban. A shadow ban is when the app drastically reduces your profile's visibility without telling you. You can still see other people, but they can't see you. You're swiping into a void. You just have to figure it out based on the fact that your matches go from slow to dead, or that you're getting 0 matches. You're left in a quiet little corner of the app where almost no one sees you. On top of the algorithm flagging, if you reset too many times, people start recognizing your profile. They've already swiped left on you once, perhaps 3 months ago. Seeing you again doesn't change their mind. It just annoys them and makes them more likely to swipe left faster or even report you for popping up repeatedly. If enough people report your profile, you can get banned entirely. So yes, resetting can work in theory, but in practice, it's risky, time-consuming, and often doesn't deliver the results you're hoping for. If you get shadow banned, you're basically starting from scratch anyway. Here's the real issue. If your profile wasn't working the first time, it's probably not going to work the second time either. Resetting your profile only works if you've materially improved it since the last time. A reset does one thing. It gives you a brief second audition. If you walk in with the same script, same outfit, same performance, you're going to get the same reviews. That means you need better photos, a better bio, better prompts, and a clearer sense of who you are and what you're looking for. If you're using the same photos, especially if they're mediocre selfies, group shots where no one can tell which one is you, or pictures from 5 years ago, you're going to get the same results. Dating app experts say the golden rule is you're only as attractive as your worst photo. If you've got 5 solid pictures and 1 bad one, the bad one is doing more damage than the good ones are doing good, causing people to swipe left. Consider the bad profile version: 3 car selfies, 1 blurry group shot from 2016, and a bio that says, "Just ask," or "I love to laugh." That profile is just giving the app a front row seat to the same problem. The better profile version includes a clear headshot, a full body photo that actually looks like you now, 1 picture where you're doing something you genuinely enjoy, and prompts that sound like a person with a pulse. So before you even think about resetting, ask yourself if your profile is actually better than it was before. If the answer is no, resetting is just hitting replay on the same disappointment. Fix the profile first, then maybe consider a reset. All right, let's talk about Marcus's second question. Should you expand your filters to get better results? This is tricky because it depends on what you mean by better results. If better results just means more matches, then yes, widening your age range, increasing your distance radius, or loosening other filters will show you more profiles and get you in front of more people. It'll increase volume. However, more matches doesn't necessarily mean better matches. Dating apps have made us hyper-focused on things that might not matter as much as we think they do. Filters create an illusion of precision, must be at least this tall, or only this age range. While it's fine to have preferences, filters can cut out huge numbers of people you might have clicked with in real life because you never even see them. Height is a great example. One study found that a partner's height matters more strongly to straight women than to men, and shorter men are statistically at a disadvantage on dating apps. Height becomes more important on apps because the apps make it filterable. If you met someone in person and had chemistry, you probably wouldn't care if they were an inch or 2 shorter than your preference. But on an app, they got filtered out before you ever saw them. Expanding your filters a bit can show you people you would have filtered out unnecessarily and put your own profile in front of more people. The best dates may even be with people you would have filtered out on paper, slightly outside your radius, a couple of years older than your preference, or with a job title that didn't sound impressive in a little box. However, there's a line. If you open things up so far that you're swiping on people you'd never consider dating, that's where it backfires. You need to be thoughtful about who you're interested in without being so picky that no one passes the test. The sweet spot seems to be to expand your filters slightly if you've been super rigid, but not so much that you're swiping on people you're not genuinely interested in. This is crucial because the apps track not just who you see, but how you behave. The algorithm tracks your swipe match conversion rate. If you're swiping right on everyone and only matching with a tiny percentage, the system reads you as having low standards, being desperate, or being a bot. As a result, it'll show your profile to lower quality users or fewer people. Conversely, if you swipe right on almost no one, the system reads you as impossible to please and also shows you to fewer people. The correct target range is swiping right on about 30 to 50% of profiles. Being selective but not impossible to please tells the algorithm you have standards, which boosts your internal score and gets you shown to other high-scoring, high-quality users. Thoughtful interest sends a better signal than either yes to all or nobody's good enough. So if resetting is risky and wild filter changes are a mixed bag, what actually works? There are a few unsexy things that consistently matter, which are backed by research and actually make a difference. 1. Complete your profile 100%. The algorithm heavily favors profiles that are filled out completely. This means filling every photo slot, completing prompts, writing an actual bio, and linking accounts like Instagram or Spotify if the app allows. A complete profile signals that you're a real, active, and engaged user, not a bot or someone who's half-assing it. 2. Your photos matter more than anything else. Upload 4 to 6 high-quality solo photos with good lighting and genuine smiles. Apps prioritize photos over everything else. The truth is that your first photo is the 3/4 of a second you get to convince someone not to flick you away with their thumb. People are skimming your face, not reading your soul. You must avoid selfies, sunglasses, group shots, and distant photos where no one can clearly see your face. Dating apps now use AI-driven photo analysis to detect things like facial expressions, clarity, and whether you're smiling. Clear, bright solo photos where you're smiling get shown more often. Blurry, dark, or group photos get deprioritized. You need to at least look like you tried, with good lighting, in focus, and looking like yourself on your best regular day, not your once-in-a-decade wedding guest day. Show yourself doing things you actually enjoy. 3. Be active and consistent. No binge swiping. Apps prioritize profiles that are active and recently online. If you log in once a week and swipe for 10 minutes, the algorithm sees you as a low-priority user. Active users get more visibility. If you log in daily, even just for a few minutes, the algorithm sees you as engaged and will show your profile more often. One hack that works is splitting your usage into multiple sessions throughout the day instead of binge swiping for an hour. Spend 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, and 10 to 15 minutes in the evening. The algorithm rewards consistent activity over sporadic bursts. Think of it like going to a bar once a month and complaining nobody talks to you. Compare that to popping in a few times a week. The people who show up regularly are the ones who get seen. 4. Use the free boost hack. Tiny weekly tweaks. Once a week, during peak hours, like Sunday evening around 8 p.m., for example, make a small change to your profile. Swap out one photo, change a prompt, or tweak a line in your bio. This signals to the algorithm that your profile is active and relevant, acting as a small wake-up ping to the system that says, hey, this profile is fresh. This mimics the effect of a paid boost without spending any money. 5. Be selective, not impossible. This is about who you swipe in what direction on. Again, aim for that 30 to 50% right swipe range. This tells the algorithm you have standards, which boosts your internal score and gets you shown to other high-scoring users. None of this is as exciting as a secret reset hack, but it's the stuff the system actually responds to. Let me tell you a quick story about how easy it is to get banned and how hard it is to come back from it afterwards. I got banned from Hinge, not shadow banned, fully banned, account deleted, gone. And you want to know what I did to deserve it? I matched with someone who mentioned in her bio 3 separate times how funny she was, looking for someone who can keep up with how hilarious I am. My friends say I'm the funniest person they've ever known. And if you don't appreciate someone funnier than you, swipe left 3 times. So when we started messaging and she was, well, definitely not funny, I said, "You realize people who say they're funny are statistically the most unfunny people, right?" And mentioned that maybe her friends were so lame that by comparison, you actually were the funniest person they'd ever known. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but I actually was being funny, and that's not exactly a bannable for life offense. Well, she didn't take it well. She sent me a string of messages peppered with FUs, "You're an assholes," the whole thing, way over the top. I didn't respond, I just moved on. The next day, banned. No warning, no discussion, no explanation, just a message saying my account had been removed for violating community guidelines with no additional information to give you a clue as to what specific guideline they're talking about. And the thing is, there's not a single thing you can do about it. Basically, there's a joke of an appeals process, no customer service rep you can talk to, no email that gets you anywhere. You're just done forever. Now, there is a way to get back on Hinge after a ban, but it's an extremely long process, and you have to do it in a very particular order. If even one of the many steps isn't done precisely, it'll reban you immediately. And no, don't DM me asking how to do it. I'm not going to tell you. Just don't let it happen to you in the first place, and you won't need to know. But here's the satisfying part. When I finally did get back on Hinge after going through that whole ridiculous process, guess who popped up as a potential match? Her. The woman who got me banned in the first place was right there in my feed. So I reported her to Hinge, and hopefully she got what she deserved. Enforcement on dating apps isn't neutral. The same behavior doesn't carry the same risk for everyone, especially if you're a woman. These platforms don't moderate based on fairness. They moderate based on who they can afford to lose. So if you're thinking about resetting your account multiple times, pushing the boundaries of what's allowed, or saying something snarky to someone who's annoying you, just know that banning is real, it's fast, and there's no court of appeals. One more thing to remember, shadow bans are real. You can end up effectively invisible on an app if you keep deleting and recreating accounts rapidly, get reported by multiple users for spam or inappropriate behavior, use auto-swipe tools or sketchy third-party services, or violate terms of service. The app won't tell you you're shadow banned, you just notice that your matches go from slow to dead. If you're going to reset, do it sparingly. Wait at least a couple of days, 36 to 48 hours. Make sure your new profile is significantly better than the last. And if things go completely silent for weeks, despite having a strong profile and realistic filters, it might be time to try a different app entirely rather than nuking the same one over and over. The reset button feels like a shortcut that gets you thinking, if I just start over, it'll feel like that first week again. But the truth is, the apps want to keep you on them, not to help you get off them. The newbie boost exists to hook you. The algorithm adjusts to keep you engaged just enough that you don't delete the app entirely, but frustrated enough that you consider paying for premium features. The system itself is breadcrumbing you to keep you in the loop, just happy enough not to quit, just frustrated enough to keep swiping and maybe pay. The reason the reset button is so seductive is because it promises a fresh start without requiring any real change. You don't have to rethink what you want or admit you might be burned out. You just hit delete and pray the app will treat you better this time. So before you spend time and energy resetting, ask yourself honestly, is the problem the app or is it my approach? Have I actually improved what I'm putting out there? Am I using this thing intentionally or just letting it chew up my time and self-esteem? The most radical thing you can do sometimes is resetting how much power you let it have over your mood, your self-worth, and your schedule. The reset that usually matters most is your expectations and your strategy. So, Marcus, does deleting and restarting your profile work? Sometimes. But it's risky, time-consuming, and only works if you've actually improved your profile since the last time. It's not magic. Should you expand your filters? Maybe slightly, but don't cast such a wide net that you're swiping on people you're not actually interested in. What really makes a difference is better photos, a complete profile, consistent activity, and being selective without treating everyone like they're on trial. The apps aren't on your side. They have no interest in you finding love. But if you're going to play the game, you might as well have the other team's playbook. If you've got a question about dating apps, relationships, or anything else, send it to girlscantellpodcast@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram. And if you like what you hear, tell someone about the show, or don't. I don't care. But Holly needs a new winter coat, so